In this tutorial in CyberLink PowerDirector for Mac, we'd like to give you some best practices on how to insert and delete elements in the timelines so that you don't cause a disruption in the sequence of your files. It's very easy, if you're not careful, to put things in a place where they're misaligned unintentionally. We want to help you prevent that. So let's look at some options that you have. We're going to be using the default sample files that come with PowerDirector. And I'm going to enlarge my panel on the left side in the media room so I can see them all. And we're going to start simply by dragging and dropping some elements on our track. I'm going to click the icon to display the videos only. And then I actually want to do an alias renaming. We'll just change the alias of this. I'll just call this 1. And we'll take this one and we'll change this alias. I'll just call this 2. And I'll take the last one and I'll call it 3. Okay, this will be the sequence that I want to use. So I'll take my number 1, drag and drop, and put it in track number 1. Now I'm going to take number 3 and put it next to that in track number 1. And we'll use our button to enlarge this so they fill the screen. Make it a little bit smaller than that. So I have video 1 and video 3. I want to put video 2 between them. Let me show you the different ways you can do that. I can simply drag and drop, and it will snap to the area. You'll see the blue line, the red line will turn blue, and let go. Now I have several options. I can overwrite. If I click on that, it simply replaces it. I'll do Command Z to undo. If I drag again, let it snap to that, I can click on Insert. What Insert does is it moves every clip, every element on the right of that track over, and it looks like it works just perfect in this situation. I'll do Command Z to undo that. Let's make this a bit more complicated. Let's take some other elements. I'm going to click on my graphic images here. And let's assume that on this track, after we see the movie, we're going to see this landscape of a forest. And I'm going to click on the title room and just drag down the title. And now we're going to have a title that's on top of that. And I'll also go back to the media room and we'll take some music and we'll say we'll have some music start just a little bit into this graphic image showing on the screen with the title. So we move from the movie to this image with a title on top of it and some different music. So now I have 3 tracks populated. Now watch the difference when I begin to use these different elements with insert and delete. If I take this element again, drag it down like I did before on track number 1 and let go, when I do insert, watch what happens. It did insert right on this track, but now it pushed the video forward in time. And so now when I try to play the video here, I'm going to see the end of this video, but now I also see the landscape, the image, and the my title, and I have a conflict now because this audio in track number 3 is playing the same time as the audio that's part of the video in track number 1. That's not what I wanted. I'll do Command Z to undo that. That's why the option that you most often will want to use when you drag and drop like this is Insert and Move All Clips. When I click on that, let's see what happened. We'll resize our stuff, and now I see I have clips 1, 2, and 3, and I also have the other elements I had, and they are all aligned. Every element in every track was moved forward. And that may be what you want to use in most cases, not necessarily all cases, but it's something to keep in mind. Now the same problem happens when you go to delete stuff. I can click on my icon here and press my delete key, and now I have 3 options as well. It says remove and leave gap. If I do that, right now it just takes it out. It doesn't change the spacing or location of anything on any track. I'll do Control Z again. I'll press the delete key again, and now I can do remove and fill gap. Watch what happens here. Now that only affected track number 1. So if I wanted video here, it didn't affect the other tracks, but it did change the location of stuff on that singular track. Remove fill gap and move all clips. So if I click on this one, it fills the space and it aligns every single track accordingly. So now I have no gap on track 1, and the others are aligned and moved together. These are very important principles you need to keep in mind. Now there's shortcut keys for all of these actions that make it a lot easier to use. I'm going to do a Command Z in order to get back to this. If you simply want to remove an element and move all the clips to the left, the easy way to do it with a keyboard command is to hold down the Option key and press the delete key. So I held the Option key down, I pressed the delete key, it removed it, and it realigned everything else to fill in the gap. I'll do Command Z to undo that. If I simply want to remove one item on a track and fill the gap in, I hold the Control key down and press the delete key. So now that simply adjusted the elements on that singular track. There's another option to add clips that you might find useful. I'm going to add another element here. You simply want to add a clip with the mouse. I'm going to hold the Shift key down and put something in front of my landscape picture here. We'll take the food picture. I'll hold Shift and drag, put it right on top, and notice it inserted it and it pushed everything else to the right. I'll hold Shift again, and we'll drag and let go, and now it inserted it and moved everything to the right. So that's a nice keyboard shortcut. So consider these options and use them wisely so you'll be able to adjust everything in your project, whether you're adding elements or removing elements on your timelines in PowerDirector for Mac.